Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Inspiration, motivation takes. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk about life. Our guests will share their life story. We want you to success in life and business. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk about life. We're going to speak on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are going to witness business with a servant's heart. With hosts Steve, Ramona, and Ray. Inspiration, education talks. Listen to the podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ramona. I'm fired up to have you on the show, have you join us today, because I've been laughing for the last 5 minutes, and my guest is more than an entertainer. He cares. I don't know if the other entertainers care, and they probably do, but I just really feel this. And that's why he's on this podcast, because we want to do is explore the idea of doing business and life with a servant's heart, having that purpose to make a difference in your work or your lives. And we crave the show as well to motivate you, inspire you, educate you. I'm going to add another one, make you laugh, to make an impact in your world, because laughter is such, we hear all the time, it's a great medicine. And while you're listening to my incredible guest, I want you to think about how you're going to serve yourself today and others, and what impact you create today. And the key word I keep saying is today. Do it today after you listen to our great show, and keep doing it every day and make a difference in the world. And I want to thank my incredible sponsor, Pantheon Alliance. Imagine being part of an exclusive community of high-income, successful business owners and entrepreneurs from very diverse industries. Together, they're going to build a thought leader platform to impact and change the world. For more information, just reach out and I'll get you all that information. With that being said, humor and work. It's a combination that's not happening a lot today, and we could probably blame COVID. There's probably a lot of things, election and all this. It's October 23 of 2024. But I always say we need to have empathy, love, and humor in work to make the culture better. And with that being said, I am so excited to welcome my guest. Joel, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Steve. I was just listening to the great introduction.
Was it worth it?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I was taking notes. It's a lot of good stuff.
I love the guy taking notes on his own introduction.
Yeah.
That's my kind of guy. So what inspires you? Let's just jump into it to bring work and humor together. I know you speak at companies, and that's a big passion of yours. What's the inspiration?
I have always thought fun is the key ingredient to success. Whether you're a leader, a team member, you're a communicator, you're an innovator, it's that energy that fuels our passion. And when I started my career, I started as a newspaper journalist, and then I went into advertising and marketing work for a couple agencies. And I noticed that there was a lack of energy, a lack of creativity, a lack of fun. And I found a place to put me in that equation and create that fun and create that energy. And that led to keynote speaking, because I had this other background as an improv comedian, first a stand-up and then improv comedian. And so I found a way to combine these two worlds. And the skills that make improv successful are the same skills that make a team successful, no matter what the work environment is. And so I just found a way to combine the two as a speaker, and I use improv. I want my audiences to laugh and have fun and create energy. And then through that fun and laughter, we talk about some of these messages that improv can teach us and help create that success, help create that passion, fuel that passion and that energy that gives you the ability to be a better communicator, a better innovator, a better leader, a better teammate.
So now you're bringing humor, you're bringing education, which,
yeah,
right?
Well, I want the audience to have fun. In fact, one of the first, that's a great question. One of the first things I say in my keynote is I say, look, if all you do in the next hour is laugh and have fun, I'm fine. You don't have to walk away with any cool messages, because that's a great way to spend an hour, just laughing with your team, your peers, your friends, your colleagues, because we're going to create a partnership. We're going to create respect. We're going to break down barriers. We're going to connect through laughter and humor. So all those elements are happening, whether they know it or not. But then I want to talk about some of these messages and the education part that improv taught me, and that I learned by watching thousands of audience members jump on stage with me and play an improv game, and what we learn and how we work together as a team or communicate or deal with change.
Yeah, I love that because it's that combination is powerful. I mean, if you walk into an office and they're laughing because somebody said a joke or they saw something funny, it's powerful. Talk about the spontaneity of improv that ties into business because there's a lot
Right.
there that's together.
Well, for those that don't know, I don't know, maybe you have an aunt listening to this and they're like, I don't know what improv is, Steve. And so I have to explain for the people in the back. Improv, there's no script, there's no rehearsal, there's no plan. That's what improv is. And so we're improvising right now. But there are a woman named Viola Spolin back in the late 1930s, early 1940s, created improv at NYU to teach her students. And she wrote a book, Improv for the Theater. And so all improv comes from her. Now, people have taken this game and put it together, manipulated it to fit their needs. I've certainly changed and addressed those situations by, kind of creating what I want within the game. So the game is fun and unique. That's first. So it already engages the audience, already brings people in. So when you're entertained, you're having fun, you're more open to messages. You're more open to what's happening, and you want to engage because you're having fun. And it's a good time to talk about that. Fun means a lot of different things to everybody. And so we want to make sure when we talk about fun is what your fun is might be different than my fun, which is different than somebody else's fun. But fun should always be inclusive. It should always create energy. It should always lift us up, which is, kind of what you were talking about at the beginning with your introduction about what you need to do today. And it's supposed to lift us up. It's supposed to fuel us. And if we have low energy or low fuel, it's supposed to refuel us. And that fun propels us with passion and energy with whatever we're doing. So I use the humor of improvisation, the interacting with audience members to create these moments that are spontaneous, that are happening right then in that moment. And seeing maybe your manager act out as a ballerina, or see three colleagues get on stage and we do a game called Road Trip, and each person's assigned an emotion, and watching three people be angry on a road trip or be sad or be excited, and then what the interaction and what's happening between each of those people, what happens. And so what we can learn from all that, certainly we're having fun and we're being engaged, but we're learning how to act as a team because we're listening to each other. We're focused, we're accountable, we're taking ownership. We are creating opportunity and positive support that allows us to be successful. So all these choices are happening, and I'm just highlighting these choices through the fun and laughter of improv.
Do we learn deeper when we have fun and humor involved with the education?
I think so. And I think also the younger generations. Now, you remember, my kids are 18 and 21. So when we went to school is totally different than their experience. And they are used to, from the moment they were born up and, through their education, it was all entertainment, right? Whether it was videos, everything had to be entertainment. That's how education has moved. It's not just we're all going to sit in rows and the teacher or professor is going to lecture and then we're going to take notes. It's not. It's different. And so that's how people learn, through edutainment or entertainment, through education, however you want to call it. And so I'm just kind of tapping into that. And I want people to laugh. I want people to have fun, because you let your guard down. And that's what even Viola Spolin, when she created improv in the 1930s and 40s, her thought process was, if we play a game, you're going to let your guard down, you're going to be your true self, and you're going to learn, you're going to be more open to these messages, and you're not going to create stress. You're not going to be, create this frustration if you don't do something right. And so by doing that, she's taken away some of those barriers. And so she even knew that improv is a teaching tool, and it's now used to entertain for sure,
Yeah.
but it was originally a teaching tool.
I've got to say, you look 35, so you must have had your kids at 14. So congratulations to that. Um, I just, that's so
Oh,
funny.
thanks,
Yeah,
Steve.
let's look at that.
I've
He's
lost a
improving
little
already.
weight. Thanks for noticing.
But one thing you said about your speaking and your entertainment is the engagement. For the speakers out there, and I love hearing it too, because I love speaking, how important is the engagement with the audience?
It's a huge part of everything I do
Yeah.
because I want to interact with the audience, whether I have a small group of 40 people or I'm speaking to 8,000 people, which happened this summer. And so I want to engage everyone and connect with that audience. Sometimes I use audience volunteers and they'll jump on stage, we'll do an improv game. And sometimes I do stuff with the entire audience. You know, we all stand up and do a big ta-da because we're celebrating and that's our fuel for our passion. I do a little silly thing where we all put our hands up like this. We go bunny, bunny, bunny. And you're looking at me like, that's crazy. And it is. But it's just taking that risk as a group because this is out of a lot of people's comfort zones, right? But if we do it as a group, it's not such a big deal because we're supporting each other. And so by engaging and doing it together, we're learning that message.
Well, you took that much deeper than I thought. I'm glad you did because I've learned a lot. And I'm going to take some notes. So, audience, hope you take a note. This is free, guys. He's doing this for free, so we got to thank him for that.
Wait, whoa!
Oh,
I
you
thought
didn't.
there was a Venmo.
Oh, well, we got to
there
talk later. Well, I'll
some
get your
gift
Venmo.
cards?
See,
Wait, I don't get a coffee mug that says Steve Ramona?
Well, now I got to get you one. See, audience, I got stuck there. Well, that's good. That's what improv's about, and having fun. Well, let's get serious. No,
Okay.
let's not get serious. Let's
right.
talk about your book because I am excited to hear more about it. You're excited about it. Tell us what it's all about.
Thank you. So yeah, I am very excited. And the book is called Make the Right Choice. And improv is about choices, and we're trying to find the best choice possible. And so the book is really a love letter to all the audience members that join me on stage, to all of my keynotes. It focuses on all the messages that I talk about in my keynote in obviously greater detail because it's a book, and it's packed full of ideas, things I've learned along the way, fun stories. The book is engaging. I want people to, I hope they giggle. I hope they laugh, and I hope they have fun. I'm going to look at things, leadership and communication and innovation through a different eye, just to have a little fun, but then come back to these key messages that I talk about in my keynote, and then also give actionable ideas that people can do each day to move forward, to create that success, to be more energized. I mean, just one example is that, and we talked about that positive support. We've talked about that several times and what that means. And we forget to give each other that gift, that saying, thank you, I appreciate you, you did an awesome job. And it's those just few words. It's a huge gift. And it doesn't take any money, barely takes any time. And it hits you right there when you give that gift to somebody. And what does that do? It fuels them. It gives them confidence. It connects you. And so we need to do that more. And I know through the day we forget. I get it.
Yeah.
We're busy. We do lots of things. We're busy. So I say, here's the idea. Every day you go home, think about all the people you had contact with. Customers, partners, vendors, team members. Did you give the people that deserved it that positive support? Did you say thank you and I appreciate you? And if you forgot, cool, I get it. That's why we're thinking about it on the way home. So tomorrow, let's say thank you. And you can, I don't care, send an email, text them, tweet them, call them up, see them in the hall, mail a letter and wait a week. I don't care, right? Did you see, that was my little, I did a little
Very
improv
good
there with
improv.
I made I was licking the envelope and then I was mailing the envelope.
And that's for all the people under 30. I don't know what an envelope is. So I'm glad you did that.
That's right. And so, but it's taking the time to think about that, right? And then there's no expiration date on a thank you. No one's ever received a thank you and like, well, this is late. I mean, it makes me feel great, but you're appreciating me. But this could have happened a week ago. Nobody says that because it's a gift. And so I talk about, let's make that a challenge. Let's do that every day when we go home from work and give people that appreciation. And I promise when you send it out there, it's going to come back.
And I'm going to tell you, audience, the subtitle to this book, Doing Business with a Servant's Heart, because that's all that is. When you say thank you to somebody, you're serving them.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what
that's your subtitle. That's your subtitle. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to use that. Well,
yeah. My subtitle is a little bit different. It's lead with passion, elevate your team, and unleash the fun at work. But if we put all that together, that's exactly what your subtitle is. It's the same. It's same semantics. Same
semantics. It gets semantics this, semantics that. I love it. So somebody reads the book. What kind of transformation do you hope they get?
I hope they do, just like what the subtitle says. I hope it helps them lead with passion. I hope it elevates their team and their success and gives them some ideas to bring energy and fun to their group, to their team, to their whatever's happening in their work life. And I hope, just like the subtitle says, unleash the fun at work, because when we unleash the fun, great things happen. And sometimes we're afraid of the fun. Like, and I talk about this in one of the chapters, we feel like maybe we don't have time. We don't have time for fun. We're very serious here at Global Com Universe. We're very serious. And so we think we don't have time, but we do have time. Or we think that fun is going to interrupt business. And it's not. It's part of the business. When you're at your best, you're having fun. And we leaders have to create the foundation for that fun to happen. I'm not talking about we got to sit around laughing hysterically. That's one type of fun. There's lots of types of fun. Being creating a great partnership, finding success, finishing a project, being appreciated. These are all elements of fun. And so we have to create the foundation. And when that happens, people are more energized. And if it doesn't happen, they're going to walk out the door and they're going to go down the street to the competition, because they're going to leave you. If they're not fulfilled, if they're not having fun, if you're not giving them opportunity and positive support, they're gone. Especially today's world, where, you and I think are from a generation where, we got to work somewhere a year before we even think about looking for another job. That's going to look bad on a resume, right?
Yeah.
That's not today. If I'm not, today's, the generation of today is, if I am not being fulfilled, I'm out the door. There's someone else going to hire me. And they understand that's how the process works. So leaders have to create opportunity. They have to create positive support. They have to create this culture of fun that's going to energize their team members, that they're going to want to come to work. They're going to want to reach their goals, which are your goals, to find success. And if that doesn't happen, they're not going to be fulfilled and rewarded. They're not going to be happy, and they're gone. They're out the door.
Man, that's so well said, Joel. What I'm thinking, an image comes to my head, is a sales guy on the phone with a potential sales, and he's laughing and joking. You hear him, oh, that's Joe. Yeah. Having fun with the call, with the prospect. It's so missing nowadays. I love your perspective with that, because your chance of getting the sales much better, because what are you doing with your humor, your improv, and all this passion? You're building relationships.
Yeah. Connections. Humor and fun is making a connection. And that's why, when you go to a comedy club or even a movie, and you're in that theater and everyone's laughing together, that's a really special moment, right? When you're in a movie theater and everyone laughs together, that makes it even funnier. It's a special, special moment when you're laughing as a group. That's why we gravitate toward that. We want that experience. And when you go to a comedy club and everyone's laughing together, that connects every person in the audience. And the person on stage, whether it's a comedy troupe or it's a stand-up comedian, he is the conductor, and he is creating that. And it's a really magical moment. And in my keynotes, when I create these moments, I'm telling you, it's always inspiring to me. The audience energizes me through their laughter and fun. And I'm always surprised, when I just last week, I had 3 executives of a financial firm. And so you're thinking, oh, finance, loans and leases, serious. And you're not, you're thinking serious. You're not thinking, very serious people, very successful company. And so I had three, the CEO came up, the CFO, and I think the COO came up. And the CEO, we were doing a communication game, and I was showing him 3 messages, and then he was going to communicate to the next person, and the person was going to communicate to the third person. It's like a game of telephone. And they all were incredible. I was blown away by their actions and their humor and just 100%. I think had to imitate a bull rider, and it was just watching the CEO on a chair act like a bull rider. Oh my gosh, it was absolutely hysterical. And it surprised me. I wasn't expecting that, right? And boy, did it connect that audience. And it also, what it does is it connects the executives to everybody else. It humanizes them, right? They're laughing, they're having fun. I laugh, I have fun. I have a new respect for that person, right? As a team member looking at the person that is my leader, I have a new respect for that person because he's laughing, he's having fun, he's not taking himself too seriously in this moment. And then that makes that connection. And I guarantee you the ROI that executive team is going to get back just from that 5-minute fun moment is off the charts.
Yeah, and it's what a way to mentor your staff.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just thinking that it's like, okay, you guys want to mentor once a month? Let's have an improv, just using it improv. And it's just going to be the executives, and you're going to laugh at us and you're going to joke with us. And
right.
And you're right. It's because they're just labels. They're CEO, but we're all human. And we'll just bring God into it. We're fallible, we're human, but I love to humanize.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
That's my tool is the improv. I'm not saying, companies have to do improv all the time, but find what is fun for your group. What is it? Maybe it's giving back. I love seeing posts from some of my clients where they're, trimming trees after the hurricane. I had a client, where they're all helping some of their fellow team members that they had, trees down from the hurricane. And so they all going out there and trimming trees and, clearing brush. Maybe it's a give back. Maybe it's doing something together. Maybe it's finding an opportunity just to be together and share a pizza. We don't have to create these huge things, but what is it going to be that's going to create this fun and connect everyone?
Ultimate goal. Your ROI should be fun, whether it's humor or laughter, but just fun that's a great ROI. We're getting to the end here. How can I know it's not out yet, but where can I find the book? Because I'm going to buy it. You sold me. Great improv, by the way. So you sold me. Where can we find it, and when is it available?
The book shipping date is November 13th. So you can pre-order now. Available Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Target, wherever you buy your books. They're listed. It's called, again, Make the Right Choice. Lead with passion, elevate your team, and unleash the fun at work. And so available pretty much anywhere you buy books. There's links on my website, which is just my name, joelzeff.com, if that's the easiest way for you. But lots of places to purchase the book. I'm going to be on street corners.
I'm going to tell you his address, so I'll put his address in the show notes. You go right to his house. He'll step out.
You come right to the house. I'll have a box in the back, I'm sure, signing books.
Audience, you can see this guy has fun, because you got to live the fun to give the fun, I believe, too. And I love that, I do that too. And we've just had this has been a great show. So interesting. I do an improv at the end of my show. I just realized I did this listening to you. So let's improv.
Okay. Yeah.
You've got a table of 4 at a restaurant. You, of course, sit in one of the chairs. In the other 3 chairs, other 3 chairs that are empty. Who are you going to invite, dead or alive? Why are they invited? And what food would you order?
Wow. That's a lot packed in. First and foremost, I need to have a great iced tea. I love iced tea, Steve.
Sweet tea or regular iced tea?
Good Lord, not sweet tea. What are you? Where do you come from? Sweet tea. No sweet tea. No, I don't even need a lemon. but I like maybe a nice black tea,
Okay.
very deep, rich, maybe a little flavor, a little mango. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, but I love a great iced tea. So people that I would invite, the three people, I I would say the first person that comes to mind would be Steve Martin. And I remember I say Steve Martin because those are the first comedy albums my mom had. Let's Get Small and Wild and Crazy Guy. And when I was little, I would play these. And for those, again, for Steve's aunt who didn't know what improv was, an album we put on a record player, and we dropped a needle and it would spin around and sound would come out. So, but anyway,
True.
and there used to be comedy albums, and people would play these comedy albums and laugh together. And my mom had Let's Get Small and Wild and Crazy Guy. And I'm sure I'm listening to this at age 8. Most of the jokes are going right over my head, but that was my first real connection to comedy. And Steve Martin is to me huge inspiration and huge inspiration. So that would be one guest. And so two other guests. Now that's a lot of pressure.
Pressure.
That is a lot of pressure. I would say as far as influences, I think Mark Twain would be. I put Mark Twain there. I think he was a big influence for me growing up, and he's a humorist. He considers himself a humorist. I would say Mark Twain. So me, Steve Martin, Mark Twain, and let's see, who would be the third person? There's so many to choose from. There's so many. I would have like a huge waiting list. Actually, I'll tell you what. I know who I would choose because I'm originally from Kansas City. So I'm a huge Kansas City Chiefs fan. So I got to invite my guy, Patrick Mahomes, my hero. I got to invite Mahomes. Me, Mahomes, Steve Martin, Mark Twain. Everyone's got an M in their name. Mark Twain,
Look at that.
Steve Martin, and Patrick Mahomes. So yeah, I got to, in fact, I probably would ignore Steve Martin and Mark Twain and just talk to Patrick Mahomes.
I would do the same. Love those guys, but
you guys, yeah. I'll get to you guys in a minute.
Yeah, you talk amongst each other right now.
Tell me about the last 2 Super Bowls, Patrick.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm a 49er fan, so you just killed me last week. So but that's okay. We won't get on that audience. We'll talk
you can't
after.
Beat us. You can't beat us, Steve.
No, we can't. And we will never right now. Not the team we have.
You can't beat us. I got 2 Super Bowl rings. Thank you, 49ers.
Yeah, man. So what's the food? If it begins with an M, even better, besides the T.
Oh, that's a good question. Actually, I'll tell you what. So you're talking about giving back, and I love that. I love everything that you talked about. And so I'm a graduate at the University of Kansas, and I started a scholarship called the Joel Zeff Chicken Piccata Scholarship. And so I would have chicken piccata at my at this meal, and I'm going to tell you why. Yeah, so I was having a meeting with the endowment person, and I was talking about I wanted to connect with I had this idea. I feel like I want to start a scholarship, and so I'm eating chicken piccata, and we're at the Cheesecake Factory, or it was the Grand Lux Cafe, which is connected to the Cheesecake Factory. So I'm eating chicken piccata. That's good chicken piccata, Steve. And so her name was Corey, and she goes, "What do you want to name the scholarship?" And I went, "We should name it the Joel Zeff Chicken Piccata Scholarship." And so she laughed, and that's all I really need. I just need one laugh. And so I said, "That's it. We're going to call it the Joel Zeff Chicken Piccata Scholarship." And then when people put that on their resume, they won the scholarship, and then they're going to go to a job interview, and the person's going to look at their resume, and it's going to say Joel Zeff Chicken Piccata Scholarship, and they're going to go, What is this Joel Zeff Chicken Piccata Scholarship? And they're going to create this conversation, and I just envision these questions, and so because it's about whimsy and silliness, and that's a big part of my career in speaking, and so it's about fun. And so, true story, in the University of Kansas, whoever Corey's boss was, calls me up and says, "We can't name it." the Joel Zeff Chicken Piccata Scholarship. That doesn't make any sense. And that's the other thing. You can't, if I have an idea and you just shoot it down without any reason, that's not just because you say I can't name it the Joel Zeff Chicken Piccata Scholarship, that's not good enough for me. So I said, oh, this is absolutely going to be the name of the scholarship, the Joel Zeff Chicken Piccata Scholarship. And they're like, we can't. And I said, well, I can call K-State University and see if they want the scholarship. And they're like, oh, no, that's fine. It's great. We're gonna name it. It's totally cool.
Money talks.
And so, yeah. And
oh,
so
that's great.
And so, yeah, and it's been given out. The scholarship, oh my gosh, 15 years, maybe.
Jeez,
maybe more.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And I actually started a second scholarship for now that the Chicken Piccata Scholarship I endowed on my own and fully funded. And then that will be given to the end of time, right? Through the endowment. And then I started a scholarship for one of my mentors who since passed, my journalism professor. And I call that the Tom and Jeannie Eblin in honor of the Glorious Red Pen Scholarship, because he would mark up the newspaper with a red pen, and you would sit every morning and you're like, I hope he didn't mark up my story, right? And so it was just this huge thing. And so in honor of my professor, I started that scholarship in honor of my professor, sent out a couple emails, and everyone just came from out of nowhere, from people he worked with, because he just had touched so many lives. Yeah. And that scholarship was endowed within less than a month, just boom, like that. And it's actually worth more than my scholarship now. And like 3 students each get a scholarship from that every year.
Well, Joel, you are a blessing, man. And we've had fun, we've laughed and joked, but seriously, audience, that's a servant's heart. Didn't have to do it. He's doing great. He's helping people, but he went beyond. And that's what I tell people when you do a servant's heart, you're doing beyond. So I really appreciate that. Go to joelzeff.com. You know what? I don't do this on a lot of my podcasts. Hire him. Oh, if I had a company, I would hire him, because you can see that he cares. We have our entertainers, but he not only entertains, but he cares that you grow from what he's doing. And that's what I'm getting from this podcast. And the first time I met him, when I invited him to be on this podcast. And me and Joel both want to thank you so much for watching and listening to this podcast. We'll see you all in the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.